This is the Land Surveyors Database by Daniel Parker and James Starr. And it's intended for land surveyors who want to visualize their collection of projects digitally, utilizing a web mapping service. This service will allow the user to edit, query, keep track of all projects, all while maintaining data integrity. This service simplifies access to controlled content through a centralized management of spatial data and tools, and also is scalable to encompass multiple users. The software utilized is the Windows Server 2008, SQL Server, SDE, GIS Server, and GIS Desktop. The JavaScript APIs that we wanted to use were the multiple attribute inspector, the editor widget with feature layer, and the editing widget. However, after consulting with our professor, he deterred us from using those APIs. So we went with the find features on a map, geocode, navigational toolbar, and the base map. The data sets include the streets, Corpus Christi parcels, NGS monuments, Federal Emergency Management Agency maps, and the base maps.
This is our web map. We customize the layout, we customize the text, the color, and the containers. Over to the left, you can see the vertical zoom slider that we added to go with the base map. Below that, you can see the scale bar. Then we have our layers list. And below that is a transparency slider. We have the flood zones in gray. So you can see the lower areas are lighter gray out here on the island especially. Turn those off. We have the original land grants with the survey lines depicted in a light tan. We zoom in to some NGS monuments. You can see our parcels in pink, and then the roads with the labels, and the PID for the NGS monument, the abstract number for the original land surveys, and then the zone and panel numbers for the FEMA flood data. You can use the transparency slider to see the base map underneath. And you can clearly see the parcels outlined with the roads. And zoom over here to the school. An example of a surveyed parcel, it would be yellow, which depicts that it was surveyed, and the hollow parcels, like over here, are not surveyed. And you click on it with the identify function. It gives you the tax ID, the address of the property, the legal description, the acreage, whether it was surveyed, and the job number.
And so some of the problems we encountered, for instance, with this identify button was relating tables and SDE. I mean, we have a theoretical concept and importance of integrating multiple tables, but an unclear understanding of the process of linking the tables in SDE and the coding behind that. So for instance, we had table number 1 was the parcels, table 2 was the jobs. The primary key was the tax ID. And we could not get data to pull from the jobs table to display it in this identify info box. We also tried the find and identify find feature tool. We got this tool to search the table and display the fields, but could not get the graphic to display or the map to zoom to the search. We could not grasp what the heck was going on with the output format as well of the search because it displayed check boxes and we couldn't get it formatted. Another tool that we used was a geocode tool. And we got this tool to work with our data, but could not integrate it into this service without it crashing. So there's obviously some coding there that we didn't quite understand to make it work. Other problems we encountered were obviously the cartographic issues. We tried to create a visually sound map with decent figure to ground relationship, all while determining zoom levels and maintaining legible text. Other upfront problems were obviously publishing the map service and structuring of the database. We had to reteach ourselves the server side process. For example, importing feature classes into the correct database, versioning privileges to and from owner to the reader. Um, Programming was a beast in itself. It occupied countless hours of the project, researching the dojits and dojo and constructors and the types of coding we used here was relentless. I think overall, we produced a pretty good amount. We still got work to do, and we're going to continue to work on it. And I hope you enjoy it.